Hello guys, this is Felipe Coelho and I'm glad to be here today with you. This is a special day and I've waited quite a few weeks to be here with you because I am starting a journey with you where I'm going to talk about specifically the Brazilian guitar. This is a culture in itself, basically the Brazilian way of music transferred to the guitar, so all the rhythms, all the richness, all the accent especially, that's an important word that we'll be looking into. Because basically the Brazilian magic behind it is all about the accent and the rhythms that the right hand are doing. Most of the harmonies, there's some things that are unique and special, but most of the harmonies cross over with jazz music a lot. So if you know your music theory and you know some jazz harmony, you should have no problem navigating through Brazilian music. But the right hand and the rhythms and the accent is where the magic is. And all that pretty much started in Africa. Brazil has been settled by partly the European, Portuguese and Spanish, and partly by the African people. So that inheritance has been very, very strong in our music and even in the way that our society has been built. So the Afro influence is present all over Brazilian music, and that is especially even when you talk about the instruments they had in Africa, those which are drums, they were translated to Brazilian guitar by making the use of the right hand independent figures, where you have the thumb, where mostly the bass line happens. You have the high fingers here that you even separate when you do stuff like this. Two different parts. One is syncopated and the other one is downbeat, and the thumb is doing the bass usually on the ground, but in a few other rhythms such as partido alto or afoxé, the bass will be lifted off to either a syncopated beat or a counter beat, which is contratempo in Portuguese. So basically, this is going to be a lesson. I'm going to be trying to answer some questions, but mostly trying to give you the essence. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, so I'm going to try to cover as much stuff in as little time as possible. But I have to follow a script here, so I don't like to tell my story, but I'm going to make it real short just so you guys know where I came from and where this whole idea of the Brazilian guitar came from, and even this course that I have made that came from. So basically, I'm a Brazilian artist, I'm a professional artist, I have 7 records, very differing, very contrasting styles. I've done 3 records with orchestra and chamber music. I've done jazz trio and jazz quintet. I've done guitar string quartet, and I've done a variety of things. And my last record was actually a concoction of electronic and hip-hop music with the guitar, always trying to bring that Brazilian taste, that Brazilianness to everything that I do. I've also studied in depth a lot of flamenco music, from where I've borrowed a lot of their technique. I dug flamenco music very deeply. I've played for baile, which is a tablao situation, where it's not just Brazilian guitar, but you have a language inside there. I've went to Spain. Another very heavy influence that I've brought is the gypsy jazz, or even the whole cigano guitar, which means the guitar of the gypsy, not only in jazz, but also in Brazilian music. But basically, when I mean gypsy jazz, is the school of Django Reinhardt, Jimmy Rosenberg, Stockwell Rosenberg. I've transcribed about 100 of those solos of those guys. Angelo DeBar is another great influence. And my thesis and master's degree, I went to the United States, where I lived for 9 years, and I did a master's and a bachelor's and master's degrees with full scholarships that I was awarded at 17 years old. So with those scholarships, I basically had the opportunity to study, and I developed a thesis and master's degree where I compared the use of the angle of wrist of use of the flamenco technique with the gypsy picking, which is also called pick slanting, is a specific way of picking that I've transferred to the flamenco use of the thumb, meaning without a pick, and I've transferred that into Brazilian music. So a lot of what I do on thumb. And I actually do teach more than a full lesson just on the subject of thumb. There's a lot to do in this course, many hours that are dedicated to that specifically, the way that the thumb works, especially what we call the baixarias of Brazilian music. The thumb displays a very important function, stuff such as... have a strong action of the thumb here, always using the gravity. Anyways, I don't want to go into that. I'm trying to finish my story here. So basically, I graduated in jazz guitar, actually. So I've analyzed in depth the music theory behind harmony, both in the jazz world and the Brazilian world. And that's one of the things that I believe that I can help you with, is the fact that I've been able to get the tools to analyze and to look at music and at an analytical and theoretical way, and then bring that to the street music, to the accent music, to the music that was really with the African influence, but look at it in an analytical and theoretical way and try to break it apart. And that's what we're going to be going into here in just a minute, is I'm going to try to explain to you what is the accent behind Brazilian music, what is that magic, that flair that makes it sound like, almost like a guitar drumming, more than just regular guitar playing. So anyways, that's pretty much my story. So I came back to Brazil, I started producing records, and I got some government funding opportunities because they recognized my work, and recorded 7 records so far. Most of them are on the main platforms, and you can check my stuff on YouTube as well. So basically, that's it. And then since before the pandemics, I used to mostly perform and tour and write and just live the dream pretty much. I was very happy, and I still am happy, but with the pandemics, my whole schedule shut down. I was going to be playing this year a couple of times, and I had 1 tour scheduled. Everything was down. And then right about the time pandemics happened, a couple friends that I used to have from the States contacted me asking me for lessons. And I started hearing a bunch of people say, you should teach a course because you speak so well. I'm not trying to be cocky, but they just told me that I was a good communicator and I should teach Brazilian music, because most of the Brazilian guitar masters don't speak English as far as I know. So everybody started encouraging me to do that, and I decided to go ahead and do it. So yeah, enough of that. So let's get to the point here. I want to get your guitars and warm up your hands real quick, because we're going to talk about Brazilian music right now. Basically, there's an accent, all right, to Brazilian music. There's one very specific thing that you have to remember, which is an accent. And this accent works like this. You're going to have 4, each beat is separated into 4 16th notes. So you should always, every time you play music, even if it's not Brazilian, you should be always very aware of the subdivision. So if this was one beat, you can subdivide it into 4 16th notes as such. Ta 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 ta. But this is straight 16th notes. Ta 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 ta. Everything that you play when you play Brazilian music, absolutely for sure, because of the African inheritance and what they call batuque, which is the tradition of doing everything rhythmically. Even conversations, you have a lot of call and answer, and this is also an inheritance from the jazz music that you have call and answer. But in Brazilian music, a lot of this, a lot of simple cyclical cycles of beats that just repeat and get you into a trance, like a dancing feeling. So Brazilian music is a lot more of that, a lot more about the feeling than the intellectual. Although the harmonies can be pretty intellectual when we get into them, but I want you to focus right now in just your awareness of rhythm. So let's separate one beat into 4 16th notes. And now here's the first secret. Since this is called the secrets of Brazilian guitar, here's the first one, and it's a damn important secret. Here we go. The first and the last 16th notes, they are larger and fatter and more, just heavier. They are more accented. And the 2 middle ones, they are like ghost notes, where you can put a staccato on them, and not only that, you can make them shorter. So instead of singing them square like this, ta 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 ta, you're gonna sing them like this, ta 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 ta. See that the middle ones, I'm almost not even singing, I'm just marking with my tongue, ta 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 ta. It almost makes it a whole different thing rather than ta 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 ta. I'm already dancing. So you gotta implement that. You gotta put that into your mind. And here's the greatest advice I'm gonna give you if you want to develop music of any language is listen. Listen to a lot of it. So you should go on Deezer or whatever your favorite platform is and listen. Listen to a lot of Jobim, João Gilberto, Martim da Vila, Zeca Pagodinho, Jacó do Bandolim, Pixinguinha, Arismar do Espírito Santo. God, the list is so long. I can even give you a few names here in a second. But you should listen to Brazilian music. If you don't listen, this is not going to get into your head, and you're not going to be able to bring that spirit to it, okay? So that's a very important point.
Accent image.
Sim. So here is a figure that's going to be on the screen now that explains the accent pattern. And it's basically this. You're seeing a series of beats which are divided into 4/16 notes. And don't be intimidated if you don't know how to read music. Just listen to what I'm saying. You're going to make sense out of the image. You're going to receive groupings of 4/16 notes, and you should accent them as ta 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 ta, almost like this. So basically, I'm doing here 4/1, 4/1. If I'm thinking 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, I'm going to put weight, fatness on 1 and 4. 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1. And the 2 and 3, the internal subdivisions, I'm just going to mark with this hand here, kind of quickly and softly. This is the essence of Brazilian music, and later we're going to imply some surdo and tamborim patterns over this. But this is the underlying subdivision of everything. When I talk about subdivision, I tend to do an analogy as pixeling, like imagine a big screen, a computer screen where you have an image, and you're going to have what we call pixelage. The same thing. It's basically a bunch of subdivisions, little squares that you can paint any colors. This is how Brazilian music is. The subdivision or the pixels of this empty canvas has to be respected in this accent. Or micro subdivision, I also refer to it that way, because you're subdividing 4 things, but they're not necessarily equal. In a micro sense, they are slightly different. They are slightly more like this. So you got ta 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 ta. And this can go forever. I can even go into a second step. I wasn't going to, but I feel like it now. The second secret that's going to underlie your guitar playing, especially in the rhythms of samba, choro, sambão, which are pretty much from the same tree, is this. The first beat is always, the bass note is muted. And on the second beat, the bass note is drawn out and long. And usually the bass note also alternates between the tonic and the fifth. And that's for everything you play, every tune. Whatever samba, whatever you're trying to play, choro, that alternation between the tonic and the fifth is always very welcome because it resembles the drum, the surdo. It comes straight from Africa. It's a big, big drum like this with a large skin. And they hit the mallet, or whatever you call that. They hit the stick first with their hand covering the skin, and then they take out the hand and hit the second beat, and it sounds kaboom. So you have this bop, the boom, bop, the boom, bop. So you have one muted and one long, and then you just apply that to that 4th, 16th note pixelage right here. You have tak 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 tak. This is one of the things in my script here. The next thing I want to talk about to you is my method of teaching. But basically, I try to combine music theory, a very theoretical, analytical view, with an intuitive view, where from many years of teaching guitar, I've been teaching guitar since I was 15. Right now, I'm 39, so that's a bunch of years. That's what, 24 years, yeah. So I've had enough experience to see what works and what doesn't, and what tends to take people straight to the point. And so I developed my method, which is basically looking at music in a theoretical way, but in an intuitive way that makes them learn faster. And that means sometimes putting down the guitar and using your voice. So throughout this course, actually, that I've made, The Secrets of Brazilian Guitar, I use that method a lot to first get you to sing and understand and internalize something. Only after that, you take it to the guitar. So you should first sing. So on. So you should practice just that feeling, just that groove. Feel it in your mind, try to emulate it with your mouth, and then after that you take it to the guitar. this. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. And I'm even adding a little ghost note here, which is the 4/16. That means 1 and the 2 and the 1 and the 2. Before the long one. So I mean the 4/16 or the first beat. I got this. 1 and the 2. I'm doing a little pull off here. And that's one of the things about Brazilian guitars. There's many things. There's so much to cover today. I'm trying my best here to help you out, but a lot of stuff to say. One of the things about Brazilian guitar that's very unique and very what it's all about, very much, is the use of different tools to make to emulate percussions. So, like I said before, it's almost like a guitar drumming. You can hit the guitar, do a surdo right here with this bone. Many times I use that when I have to play it over a chord. You can hit a surdo also right here, get a humph from the guitar. There's the slapping. You can hit it high like this or like this. But the slapping for now is what I was going to use here for that 4/16 note little ghost. So you have this 1 and the 2 and the 1 and the 2 and the 1 and the 2 and the 1 and the 2. You can use it before each of the beats actually. So on every beat, 1 and the 2 and the 1 and the 2 and the. This is an exercise you should do for quite a few minutes in order to start gaining that accent, to gain that flair, or I should say that language. Just this, forget any chord, just do this. Grab a note, think 1 and the, and then on the you snap it. Do a little slap, muting it straight away. Muting is another technique very present on Brazilian guitar, which is done by the palm of your hand. Basically, as you hit, you can immediately mute something by doing this. You use the palm, the skin of your hand, to immediately stop a sound. So that's what I'm doing here. When I slap the guitar, I go 1 and the 1 and the 2 and the 1 and the 2 and the 2 and the 1. And just with that little game, let's try to instigate, try to bring around that aura of samba. You think a big surdo and a tambourine. So I'm going to talk about a tambourine here in a second. There's a lot to talk about. So here we go. The surdo would go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Sometimes I do 1 like this. You use the 4/16 on the previous bass note to go to the higher one. So 1, 2, and 1, 2, and the 1, and the 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 2, and this is a good exercise. Just do that for a few minutes and you start getting the hang of it, and then you can apply this into songs later. But getting that drum-like, the percussive action behind everything you do is really the essence of what it's all about. So you got, again, 1 and the 2 and the 1 and the 2 and the 1 and the 2 and the 1. So stick with that exercise for a second, and let's go into something else.
Mauritius asked to show the rhythms first in slow tempo.
The rhythms.
The rhythm first. Maybe he meant the first rhythm.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do that then. The first rhythm that I'm going to show you, just to start with, is a 2x4 bossa-nova. That's where we're going to start with, okay, grabbing the guitar. And then later we're going to apply these little exercises that I was showing you just to bring about the accent. Because these are two different subjects that sort of cross over a little later on. So let's abandon the talk about the accent and let's go for an actual rhythm. So we're going to go for the bossa-nova, the easy bossa-nova. Emerson, pode botar a figura da simple bossa-nova. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to use, for those of you who have a 6-string guitar and all the theory, although I'm using a 7-string here, everything that we're going to do in this course is directed to the 6-string guitar. And there's no problem if you don't have a 7-string guitar. You can learn and do everything on the 6. This is a Brazilian C major chord. Instead of playing like this, I'm going to play like this. I'm going to put the bass on the 5th, so this is a second inversion. The root is right there on the pinky, the C note. Ignore this string right here, okay? Just get this one, and the 3rd, which is E natural, and the 6th, which is A natural. So I got this. the first rhythm we're going to learn is bossa-nova. Botou na tela? The basic figure is thumb is always on the downbeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and even if this is the fifth, it doesn't matter. 2 and 3 and 4 and the figure is going to be a 2-beat cycle. Ta 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 ta. Very slow for you. Of doing more subdivisions. I separated 2 exercises here that are going to get you started on the accent. Okay, before I show you the rhythms, I want to talk about the accent. I'm going to get to the rhythms, okay? What was his name again?
Mauritius.
Mauricio?
Patricius, sorry.
Patricius?
Yes.
So I'm going to get to the rhythms.
So he's with A and E in the bass because most viewers have a 6-string guitar.
A and E on the bass, right. Okay, so yeah, I'm using the 6th string on the bass right here. That's the very basics, okay? This is a bossa nova. You can play any bossa nova with this. For example, so you can see that you can get through any bossa nova tune with that rhythm. That's a basic. But I had written here my script. I want to kind of attain to it a little bit so I don't get lost. I had 2 exercises for you guys to do with me to get that accent being germinated in you. So here's the first exercise, okay? Now we're going to do a G major 6 chord. This is a very common chord in Brazilian music. You're going to get the bass on G. Okay, here's your 6th string. Here's the 5th and the 3rd.
What's the name of the song?
That song was Tristeza. No, A Felicidade.
Which means happiness.
É.
Happiness.
Não, mas bota o título em português pra ela. Tom Jobim, yes. Eu dou Tom Jobim, acho que é, né? Ih, rapaz. I'm not absolutely sure that it's Jobim tune, but A Felicidade, that's what it is. So here's a G major 6, okay? And just so you know here, I have a very strong vision or a very strong belief in the pedagogy of guitar and music is that everything, absolutely everything you play, you should be aware of the intervals. And this is going into the subject of harmony. I'm a very big, how can I say, but just a believer that you should just be conscious of everything you play, harmonically speaking. If you play anything that's just memorizing fingers, it's just a physical exercise, but you're not understanding what you're doing, you're not attaining that, you're not absorbing that. And you need to absorb what you play so that you can spit it back. You can improvise over it or write an arrangement or just make it your own. You have to understand everything you do. So on the guitar, it has one facility is the fact that every interval is always has a visual disposition, a physical visual disposition. That means this: if this is my root, I know that this is my ninth. Just because I know. So you have to memorize a few things like this by taking simple chords first and knowing their intervals. So you got 5th, octave, 3rd, 5th, and octave. So okay, let's keep going. Here it is, the G major 6. We're going to use this for going forward in our rhythmical exercise. The first exercise is this: grab the G major 6 and go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And you're going to accent the 4th 16th note. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Another thing you're gonna do, This is a very important tool for you to get the groove, for you to use when you're going to play Brazilian music. And it's to do a left-hand staccato. That means this. You're going to play and you're going to immediately let go of the chord. So you only get the entrance, you only get the attack of the chord, but it's not going to ring out. And this makes it very, very special and dynamic, your guitar playing, because then you have the possibility of making the chord ring out as a musical tool. You choose when not to, and when you want to just break through with a different dynamics or different sound, then you hold the chord all the time and you let it ring out, and it sounds really nice. But if you don't do that and you just play one way all the time, it sounds kind of square and not dynamical at all. So what I'm talking about is this. Listen on the fourth. See that I play and I immediately mute. That's one of the little secrets of Brazilian guitar that you should always take with you. Mute that last 16th. And now, okay, now we're going to do this. We're going to play the second and the third one legato. That means tied together. So that's not going to be a third one. It's going to be only 1, 2, and 4, like this. But I'm still feeling 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm still feeling that 3. It's just not being played, okay? And now keep doing the staccato on the 4th 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now what you're going to do is this. On where you had the third pull out, you're going to hit your hand on the guitar. So it's going to be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. See if you can do this with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But on the fourth one, accent it and do a staccato by pressing and releasing immediately. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And listen what it sounds like. I could make it into a D major here, so now you can get the feeling of what it sounds like with that bass, that long drawn out bass on the 2nd and 4th beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Let's hear what it sounds like. This here is a D major 7, 9, okay? So this is the major 3rd. Again, that's how I always encourage people to learn guitar, is by seeing the intervals, internal intervals. This is the major 7 right here, between D and C sharp. Again, don't forget that I am not, this is my 7th string, so if you don't have a 7th string guitar, don't look at this string or just ignore it. And I have the 9th right here. So I'm gonna do like this. If I sing those subdivisions like I was saying to you about the accent, I make the 2 ones in the middle shorter, kind of hidden, kind of ghosty. If you do that with your mouth, it should fit totally, completely fit with your guitar playing, like so. It's like almost as if my mouth and my guitar are the same thing. I'm trying to imply that it's not tum ta 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 tum ta ta ta. It's not square. It's tum ta tum ta tum ta tum ta tum. This you can. I call this personally samba jazz. So it's just basically a simple way of playing samba where I'm not yet getting to the claves and the syncopation. These are the 2 next points that I have on my my little notes here. That are crucial to be talked about, to be covered today, because this is the essence of Brazilian guitar, is basically the idea of the accent, the idea then of the syncopations, which are represented by the tambourine. We're going to take the tambourine from the Escola de Samba, and we're going to take it to the guitar. So the tambourine is a high hand drum that is played both directions, up and down, and they get fast subdivisions with that. It sounds like they get these different variations, and we're going to import that into the guitar, so to make the Brazilian guitar. And that is based on the idea of syncopation and the idea of the samba claves. The samba what is a clave? A clave is a small short sequence, usually between 2 to 4 beats, that is repeated and over which a song may be composed. Of course, a clave can be broken, can be messed with, but you need to be able to master it, and then after that you can break it up. So I'm going to get to the idea of explaining syncopation, tambourine, and the claves. But before that, this here is the underlying railroad or pixelage. It's basically that tac, 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 tac that needs to be always there with you. So you got this. It's basically the groove, the idea of a groove, right? Which is the essence of African music, is that groove that is always going on. So I could sing a million songs here. Where? Valei-me Deus, é o fim do nosso amor. Perdoa, por favor. Eu sei que o erro aconteceu, mas não sei o que fez. Tudo mudar de vez. Onde foi que eu errei? Eu só sei que amei, que amei, que amei, que amei. Será? So I'm showing you basically how you can sing a song just over this underlying rhythm, just that groove. That's also what the pandeiro does. The pandeiro is our hand drum that is present in every choro meeting. Choro, again, is the purest Brazilian form of instrumental music. And choro is one of the things that I have written here for you, which is actually the very next exercise is the choro approach for doing the same subdivision here. I'm going to show you. So I'm talking about the pandeiro. This is basically a way that you can import the sound of a pandeiro into your guitar playing. That's why sometimes when you have a good Brazilian guitar player, you need no percussion. You need not to worry about having somebody else play percussion, because the essence of the Brazilian guitar is percussive. Am I talking too fast?
Yeah, some people are asking to slow down.
All right. I'm sorry, guys. I will try to speak slower. It's just that I'm not only excited, but I am trying to squeeze as much knowledge as possible in this 1 or 2 hours here that we're going to have together, so I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to leave people out saying, oh, he just talked and didn't teach us anything. So here is what I'm teaching to you now. From this point, all the way, everything I've talked about so far, I would like you to be able to do this, if you can. Grab this D major 9 with me, major 3rd, major 7, and major 9. I'll get to the syncopation. Not yet there. My friend here, Emerson, producer, digital producer of our meeting, is asking if I'm going to get into syncopation, and I will, but just like you asked me, I'm trying to take it slow and making sure that you're following me. In understanding just first this, which is the subdivision and the accent, is the essence. Without this, there's no point in going forward. So the essence here is just that. You're going to grab this D major chord, get the bass alternating between tonic and fifth. That's 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5. And you try to make it so the bottom is longer and the 1 is short. 1, 5, 1, because that emulates the groove of the surdo and the tambourine and the pandeiro. And here on the right hand, I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 1 is bass, 2 is pull, 3 is a strike here, a little percussive strike. But make sure when you strike already with your fingers in position for what they're going to do next, which is grab again. So I'm striking it right on where they belong, on the strings that I want to pull. In the case I'm doing it on B, G, and D string. So after doing this now, I think we might be ready to go with our first samba clave, and then I'm going to have to introduce to you the concept of syncopation. So here we go. There's no other way to tackle that than tackling it. So just bear with me, okay? What is syncopation? Basically, every samba clave, or most claves of Brazilian music, even the ones that are not from the samba tree, and by that I'm meaning now the northern claves, which are afoxé, chachado, shot, coco, baião, all these from the northern part, they also make use of syncopation. Pretty much syncopation is like present in every Brazilian sub-language, because there's many regions. Even like you have the southern region of Brazil, which has a very specific way of playing guitar as well, which has more to do with Latin America. Many compa in 3 and 6. But anyways, the syncopation is always there. And what is syncopation? Basically, syncopation. Agora seria uma boa hora para tu botar o símbolo da síncope lá.
Correct.
I'm going to put in the screen here a drawing of syncopation for you guys to see what it is. Basically, in a beat, you're going to have 4 16th notes, okay? And the ones that are called square, or the ones that are straight, are basically as if you did in eighth notes, which are the downbeat and the upbeat. That's not syncopation. That means this: ta 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 ta. But if you now separate the second and the 4th 16th note, then those are the ones that are off the ground. They're neither down or upbeat. They are syncopated. And the idea here, as you can see, I'm going to try to point to the screen. This is too hard. All right, let's forget. Oh yeah, that is not going to work. What you're going to have is this. First, let's count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, and I'm going to sing the syncopation. I'm going to sing the 2nd and 4th 16ths. And I've drawn it for you here. The 2nd is tied to the 3rd, and the 4th is tied to the 1. So you got this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta 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 ta. I'm even marking with my voice ta ta ta, which is the 1. Ta ta ta, to help me know where I am and to help me place my accent on the 2nd 16th instead of the 1st. Ta ta. You got to have this physical, rhythmical awareness very, very resolved, very aware, very on. If you don't, then you can't bring out the identity in the language of Brazilian guitar. So here's an exercise we're going to do right now. Is this 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 4 E. Ta 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 ta. And you're going to take it to the guitar now, okay? It's basically what I already showed you. Is this. You mark the 1, and then the pull is the syncopation. And then when you hit here, you're marking the 3, or the upbeat, because you got downbeat, syncopation, upbeat, syncopation. So the strike is the upbeat, and then the pull is the other syncopation. So when you're doing this, you're already syncopating. So that's going to be, well, now is the first, I'm going to introduce you the first samba clave. Most of the samba claves, there's a question. Here we go.
Here, Karen is asking if you could do a small revision every time you move to the next chapter.
Como é que é?
You do a small review of the subject when you move to the next.
Okay.
Quickly.
Yeah, all right.
Just say what you've covered so far.
Okay, what I've covered so far is basically the accent of Brazilian music. We had one of our listeners here ask me to do a small briefing, or not briefing, a small recap on what I've done up to this point before I go into the next subject. So what I've done is mainly explain to you the underlying accent that goes on between underneath your, or along with, your 4 subdivisions inside one beat. That is 4 16th notes, ta 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 ta, and they have an underlying accent, which is tak ta 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 ta. And I've shown that drawn in the screen here. You can watch this also later, because it's going to stay up on my YouTube channel for a few days, so you can refer to that picture. And I've also gotten started with taking that to the right hand. The first exercise was 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 1, and then 2 3 4, pulling off with your fingers 1 2 and 3. And then the second exercise was bypassing the third one, grabbing only 2 and 4. So you got this 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2, and that's already easing you into the syncopation. There are some people, for some reason, have a hard time internalizing syncopation. So this exercise is basically taking you by the hand, by step, into the Brazilian guitar door, because the Brazilian guitar is all about syncopation. Everywhere it's always syncopating on that offbeat, and that's what I'm trying to introduce to you guys. So I haven't done much yet. I'm just getting started. And what I did before was talk about my life a little bit, and we don't need that anymore. You can check on Google if you want. All right, so here, going now into the first clave. Most of the samba claves are going to present to you first a subdivision or a phrase that is down and upbeat, like this. Ta 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 ta. All right? So what did I do here? Ta 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 ta. I did 3 beats pretty much, doing down and upbeat. Ta 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 ta. And now, and this is not only with this clave that I'm showing you, but it's with many claves. It's simply going to take that suggestion, that phrase, and it's going to flip it around in syncopation. So you're going to get that same stream of 8 notes, ta 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 ta. And you're going to now displace them all by a 16th note, thus syncopating all of them. So you get this ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. So I'm going to do ta 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 ta. 4 syncopated 16th notes, and this is what it's going to look like inside the measure. Each of my fingers is now a beat. It's not a 16th note, okay? But 4 beats. 1 E in the 2 E in the 3 E in the 4 E in the ta 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 ta. So I pick it back up here on the end of 2, and on the beat 3, I pick back up the straight 8th notes. When I say straight 8th notes, I mean either on the ground or upbeat. So again. Ta 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 pa 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 ta 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 pa pa pa. So you see that only the first measure is that you come in like that ta 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 ta. That's the saída. It means the starting of the cycle. So only the first one you're going to start like that ta 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 ta. And then after this part, the one never gets the downbeat again, because it's now inside the syncopating cycle. So I want you to learn how to sing this with me without the guitar. I'm going to repeat it a bunch of times, and I want you to listen and try to internalize this with me, okay? This is crucial for later when we pick up the instrument. There's no point in going for the instrument now before you feel this, okay? Here we go. Slow now. 1 E in the 2 E in the 3 E in the 4 E in the ta 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 ta. And now to make it even more Brazilian, I'm going to invite you to use your voice. Use your voice here, like that. You can do a on beats 2 and 4 to emulate the bass drum, and it's going to be like you're going to be singing a Brazilian percussion or a Brazilian drum line right here. Ta 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 What I'm doing now with my hands here is I'm clapping 4-1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm bringing that accent that I showed you the figure in the beginning of the lesson, that figure of 4 16th notes, and you accent the first and last. Ta, 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 ta. That's what the pandeiro does. That's what the drummer does. All the percussion parts, most of them get that accent. Ta, ka, 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 ka. So you need to internalize that. So for a first lesson on Brazilian guitar, or if I had only one time to meet you and I was going to try to teach as much as possible, that's what I would do. And this is why I've chosen to teach this. Because like I said, there's no point in me teaching where to put your fingers if the feeling is not there. Music, Brazilian music is not about the notes. It's not about which notes I'm playing. Because a G minor, you can find that in Japanese music, classical music, wherever music, you can find these same chords. What really makes them Brazilian is the way that you grab the rhythm. So that's why I'm focusing so much on this. So just bear with me. And I guarantee you that you are learning the essence of Brazilian music. Now, we're going to try to transfer that onto the guitar. Tem alguma pergunta mais? Deve ter várias. Tá. So here we go, guys. Like I said, I'm trying to fit as much as I can in. There's way too much. So I did prepare a 12-hour course that today, by the end of the lesson, or I guess by the end of the next lesson, because I'm going to give 2 lessons, we're going to be opening for a new group of students. We did already have a great group of students before, I think 35 students, and it was quite a great experience that pretty much led me to do this again. So let's now go back to to that rhythm, and we're going to pass it on to the guitar. Ta 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 ta. So now let's try to see if you can do that here. I'm going to do is I'm going to do an A minor 7 here, just these two fingers, okay? A minor 7, that's your 5th, the A note, 5th string is open. You got the 5th right here, the G is your minor 7, the C is your 3rd, and the E on top is your 5th. So I'm not going to, well, we can try to alternate if you want between tonic and 5th. Is that too much to ask? If it's too much to ask, just stick with the A, okay? But I want you now to try to imply that pattern that we were doing together. Starting on the downbeat of 1 and then going into that cycle with the syncopation. Here's the clave. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's talk about some of the secrets that are going on here. One of the secrets that I'm using is when I'm doing the syncopated notes, I'm doing all of them staccato because a tambourine is a staccato instrument. Everything it plays, it plays shortly. So I'm trying to, especially on the syncopated notes, which are the special ones, I'm going to imply a syncopation, which is ta 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 ta. I'm going to imply a staccato ta 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 ka 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 ka, very short. And since here I have a lot of open strings, one of the resources that I use in order to make that short is use these two fingers here to sort of muffle the chord. I don't think it's a palming situation, it's not the sound that you want, but here you can immediately stop the chord and give it a percussive-like effect, percussion-like effect. So, notice how I'm doing all my E's, my note of the 2nd and 4th beat, I'm doing long. And the A is always short. And I try to bring that 4th, 16th note. Either with the thumb or with a little slapping. Try this exercise. I'm palming it also to give it more of a percussive-like sound. I'm not playing this. I'm doing... Everything is palmed. Everything is ringing off of this skin right here, so it gives it more of a percussive... More of like a drum-like sound. Try this at home. And try to sing it. Just... Don't be shy to yourself, and the use of voice is one of the greatest ways to develop your brain into really looking at a subdivision and feeling to your body, acquiring that. So you really shouldn't be shy, shouldn't limit yourself to believing that you can't sing a rhythmic part. Really try it. So you sing a subdivision. And then use the right hand to imply the clave. Notice that when I'm doing the syncopation, I'm hitting my hand here using the strike, the percussive attack, like a pandero here. Let me know if there's any question, guys.
Richard Baruch is asking,
Richard.
Lucas Abdo.
Lucas.
I see your thumb plays two different strings. Why is that? Is the 5th?
Okay, well, because this is an emulation of the drum that originated all this. This is the surdo. The Escola de Samba in Brazil, a big old drum school, drum line that plays samba, has a low drum that plays with it open, which is the lower one, and then it puts the hand over and plays again, and that's the high beat. So it's always like 1, 2, 1, 2. The 1 is the high, the 2 is the low. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So this was brought to the guitar as a simulation or as an emulation of the drum. You try to imitate a drum, and you always alternate. That basically got started to in the harmonic instruments to always do the lower one, the fifth. You're always doing the tonic and the fifth, and those generally are going to be on different strings, right? Of course, otherwise you would be doing this. It's too much of a jump. So here the guitar has this facilitation or facility that you can simply play the same fret, one string down, and you not only you feel the chord more harmonically because the fifth is part of the chord. And in the Secrets of Brazilian Guitar course teaches a lot of hours on harmony. It's pretty much half on rhythm, or a third on rhythm, a third on harmony, and a third on repertoire. So I haven't even talked about harmony today, and we're already past half of the time.
Bass lines.
So, oh yeah, and the bass lines, of course. But harmony is a big deal. There's a lot to cover. There's your harmonized scale, natural harmonized scale, melodic harmonized scale, harmonic minor, harmonic major, and then all variations over the dominant chord. You got the altered chord, you got the whole tone scale, you got the diminished dominant scale, you got the natural dominant scale, you got the Phrygian dominant. It's a lot of stuff. And I can't cover all in just one sitting as much as I'm trying. Hoje é a turma? So yeah, so at the end of this meeting here, we're gonna open another group of students. It's gonna be the second group of students that we're opening after the first experience, which was in the beginning of August. We opened one group of students who are about past half of the course right now. That we're starting on the songs, and it's been such a success. It's been so much fun that I decided to do it again. Basically, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to cover much on harmony today, but just to answer your question there, I'm alternating strings because I'm doing tonic and fifth here. Tinha outra pergunta, não? I'm going to see if there's any more questions.
Quanto tempo vai durar a aula? Já respondi. Oh yes, the Richard Bunch. But yes, true. The low E only gets to say more than the A string. That's what I mean. It's just a coordination thing. Takes practice. Thanks.
Yeah, well, basically, what I'm trying to do here in this one lesson is trying to give you as much of the fundamentals as I possibly can. I can't go into detail because there's a lot to cover, and I would like to even still hit the baião, which is another reference, one of the most important along with samba. So I'm going to try that. Let's go for it. Here's the third way that you can do an internal subdivision for samba, the way that I was explaining. To do this, now is the third way to do it. It's basically this is from choro. Choro is the instrumental kind of Brazilian music, but choro and samba are like cousins, almost brothers. And basically the way that they separate this is the beginning of a technique that's going to be later explored a lot in depth. But it's the beginning of a technique that I call double stroke technique, which separates these two fingers from this one. You're going to grab a G major 6 chord, and you're going to do this. This is 1, and now for 2, 3, and 4, which are the 4 subdivisions of a beat, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 is done with a thumb. 2, 3, 4 are going to be like this. 2, 3, 4. You're going to separate these two fingers, so you got this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or even you can do this and repeat the thumb. Let's do it that way. There's 2 different ways to do it, okay? So we got this. And now you're going to try to play it. So try to use your voice to sing that accent, rhythmic subdivision. Accent the 1 and 4 and shorten the 2 and 3, the middle ones. And then try to sing it over what you're doing and trying to get that same rhythmic feel. Do not know syncopation. Bam, bam. Here's a few secrets to get that feeling, and we're only getting started because the accompaniment in choro actually always inverts the chord. You're always inverting and dancing around with the bass lines, which are an essence of Brazilian guitar. Basically, when I say bass lines and inverts, I mean this. So you got things that you can speak during just one stationary chord. That's just a G. But I'm grooving it in different ways, making it organic, make it breathe, and fill it in with samba, with bass lines. Or there's many things you can do, and we look into the bass lines a lot in the Secrets of Brazilian Guitar course. So okay, that's the short approach. One more time for you to take this exercise with you. Do 1, 2, finger 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The right hand is the focus here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you can hit inversions, if you know what I'm talking about, go for it. Like tonic, third, fifth, third, tonic, third, fifth. For this, I'm now doing the bass on 1 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's one of the exercises. At least if you can take these 3 exercises from here, I'm already happy because you're already getting started with what really matters. Okay, so if you have understood these 3 exercises so far, I'm really happy with you. Let's now go for... Ele está aparecendo na tela ali? No. Let's now go for the baião, okay? Before this is all over, I really want to be able to get time to go into the baião. These are the 2 main rhythms. In the Secrets of Brazilian Music course, we're going to go over pretty much all of them. Pretty much, we're going to go over all the variations of samba. That is choro, sambão, samba de roda, pretty much everything. What I call samba jazz variation, where the samba jazz mixes with Latin, which is pretty much the anticipation of the bass. That's a whole other thing. And then we go into the afoxé, we go into the samba de partido alto, we go into the baião. Basically, this course, the way that it's structured is like this. About, I would say about 3 to 4 hours, or maybe 5, are dedicated only to rhythms. And that is what I consider to be the essence of the course, okay? The essence is not pieces to be played in a classical fashion where you're reading music. Reading music is just a small addition to the importance that I believe that needs to be placed on the accent. The accent, the speech, the language of the music is at the rhythm, the right hand techniques. And basically the Secrets of Brazilian Guitar Complete course focuses on that. The second chapter goes to harmony. And then we spend time only looking at the creation of bass lines in the Brazilian accent and the Brazilian style. And then after that, I'm looking a little bit into melody execution techniques. That is stuff for you to play melodies, Brazilian melodies, with the use of the 2 fingers or 3 finger rest stroke. A little bit of it comes from flamenco, such as Brasileirinho, for example. There's a lot of exercises for you to be able to play. A long way, but I focus a little bit on the execution of melodies and analysis, and then we spend the rest of the course just working on repertoire. We teach 12 songs that have been recorded for this course, and they're all in contrasting styles. Some easy, some medium, some hard, some in samba, some in a more modern type of samba jazz, and some in authentic choro styles, such as, for example, 1-0 from Pixinguinha. Part of 1-0. So anyways, there's a lot of music that's covered in this course. And basically, posso falar do preço? Yeah. So yeah, I guess it is time for me to. I was going to go into the Baião, but since I've spent more time than I was planning to on the first part, I just want to let you know about this opportunity. Okay. So basically, we're going to get started today, opening the group of students for the second group of students of the Secrets of Brazilian Guitar Complete course. And basically, the opportunity goes like this. I started teaching online lessons during the pandemics, and I charged $50 for the lesson, and we decided to put this course at $99. But here's the catch. You actually get 24 hours of instruction with me. So for the price that you get 2 lessons, which is $100, you actually get 24 hours, 12 hours of recorded lessons. The course explain everything in slowly detailed, taking you by the hand, step by step, progressively. 12 hours of recorded lessons and 12 hours of lives that you can get to ask me personal questions, meaning personally, not personal questions, but about guitar. You get to ask me straight 1 hour per week for 3 months. I get to take a look at your development, answer any questions you might have about the course. Say what?
It's a group.
Yeah, of course, it's a group lesson, but I'm there to answer the questions of everybody. So, and it's been working great. We're about past half of the first group of students right now, and it's been beautiful. They're learning a lot. We actually even got some students that were content enough to participate, giving us their testimonials, their feedback for us, and they seem to be learning a lot. So that's the idea, is pretty much for the same amount that you would do two private lessons with me, you get 24 hours. Guys, that is 24 hours. I was looking one of these days, I went to New York to spend 3 to 4 months, that was in 2014. And one of my friends, Romero Lubambo, he's a great figure on the Brazilian guitar, but he's kind of from the previous generation, and today's generation is a lot more informed, a lot more on top of the information. And I see that he was offering a course. I think it was 1 hour for almost $80. It was $79 for 1 hour. And I was like, are you serious? My course is $100 for 24 hours. Guys, 24 hours. That's like, you can't beat that, I do, in my story, I should have told you that I did graduate with a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. With full scholarships from music school. So I do have all that music theory behind, but my method basically focuses more on the intuitive side, not on the theoretical side. I do have the theoretical tools to guide you and to dissect and analyze all the stuff, but I can give it to you in a way that you can understand. I can give it to you in a way that you can see it, and you can sing it, and you can internalize it, and that's what I believe good teaching is all about. Is really trying to take the student by the hand slowly. So I'm up for any questions, if there's any questions, but I'm just making sure that I don't forget to tell you that you guys can purchase this course and go into this journey with me where I'll follow you for 3 months, and you're going to get 12 hours of recorded lessons plus 12 hours of straight attention, my personal attention.
The first 10 students?
Oh yeah, okay, and here's the promotion, guys. I can't even believe that you're getting so much, these 24 hours for only $100. But the catch is this: the 10 first guys that jump in the group of students with us and acquire the course, you actually get 1 hour of personal private lesson with me after the course is over. Okay, so after the 3 months of all the lives that I'm going to do, that is 12 lives that I'm going to do 1 per week for 3 months. After that, after the course is done, you get to do 1 personal private lesson, just one-on-one with me. And I'll even make that more than an hour. Usually when I teach, I go more than an hour, because when the flow is happening and I see that my student is understanding things and there's an excitement, there's a flow, I can go up for 2 hours. So I promise that it's a lesson, 1 hour minimum for the 10 first people that buy the course. And I'll be really, really happy, guys, to continue this story that I seem to be building here. I've gotten so much feedback on YouTube for the past couple months, sort of in the middle of the pandemic, when I decided to, okay, I'm going to stop thinking about just guitar performance, and I'm going to start going into the digital world and trying to reach out to people and take the culture out there, because the Brazilian guitar seems not to be as known as the classical guitar style. The classical guitar culture is this huge thing that is in Europe and even in the States. There's some great classical musicians coming from the States. And of course, there's the flamenco tradition as well. And I'm thinking, hey guys, Brazilian music is one of the biggest industries in the world. Just the Brazilian industry of music moves billions. And there's so much recordings and artists coming out and so much touring going on because Brazilian people consume a lot of music. They go to shows a lot. And I'm thinking like Brazilian guitar in itself is a whole planet. So why is there not a Brazilian guitar course out there that is really addressing the essence, really addressing, and I've been I lived in the United States for 9 years and in New York for 4 months. And I really saw that there wasn't any available instruction that would be really qualified and with authority. So I was thinking like, I really should do this, because, people are just telling me to do it. And I finally opened my eyes and it's been really life-changing. It really changed my life to record this course. It's been almost a month that I spent recording with a lot of care, very slowly. We redid a lot of things because we thought it could be better. And finally I got to this point where, okay, the essence is broken down, the essence is here recorded in a way that you can't just not understand. And especially by having access to me straight for 12 lives, 12 different meetings where you have access to me, there's no way that you cannot learn this. So I put it in a way that is so broken down and so by the hand, step by step, that I don't see any other way that you could learn, if not in this course here. That, like I said, for the price of 2 private lessons, you get 24 hours. That's unbeatable. You cannot, compare to that.
The first 2 days, 99, and then maybe 150.
Okay, yeah, okay. So another important point, my production here is reminding me to say that for 2 days now, it's going to be offered for $99. And unfortunately, the price needs to be moved up to $120. The reason for that really, okay, he corrected me. So it's not $120, it's $115. That was a decision that was previously made here by the production here. When I say production, it's just my friend Emerson, who's sitting behind the computer here. But basically the reason why we did this is this. We started doing this course actually for less. It was in the beginning, I think it was $80. And then we were going to record, it was about 6 hours of lessons. And then we decided to announce, okay, here is the course for $80. And then we started recording the lessons. And we did 6 hours and we looked, it was, okay, we realized we only did rhythm. It's been almost 6 hours and we only did rhythm. We wanted to do the whole course for 6 hours for $80. So we just kept going. We said, let's just make it bigger. Let's just keep going. So we recorded rhythm and then we started going into harmonized scales of harmonic major and this whole thing about harmony. And then we went into bass lines and then we passed 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours recorded lessons. Oh my God. And we started going into the repertoire. And then even the repertoire, we got excited and we just blew the time away. So we thought we were going to do 3 songs. And we thought to ourselves, 3 songs is just not enough. We should give them 5 songs. If they jump in this with us, we want to pay them back and give them 5 songs. And then I was like, we forgot this one tune that's really, really cool, Incompatibilidade de Gênios from João Bosco. We should do that because that's one of the most Brazilian tunes ever. Okay, let's put that in. We forgot the Pixinguinha one. Let's put that in too. We forgot that other one. And then in the end, it was like 12 songs. So then we were doing plenty of hours, like a bunch of hours for $80. And when I saw that Romero Lubambo was charging $80 for 1 hour, then we convinced ourselves we can't just give away all that stuff. We're working our butts off here and charging the same thing as another course that's just 1 hour. Come on, guys. So then that's why we decided, because we recorded so much more than the original package was meant to, that's why we decided to change the price. The course, okay, somebody asked who the course is for. The course is basically for guitar players who have already got initiated. I would be dishonest if I said that I would pick you up from absolute zero. If you're at absolute zero, you can still learn some things, okay? But in order to attend to the majority of the people, I am aiming at your sort of initiated guy up to a professional musician who's not yet acquainted too much with the Brazilian music, okay? If you're a professional jazz guitarist, a professional classical player, you're very welcome to this because you're going to pick things up very quickly. And if you are just a beginner who's starting to take guitar lessons, you're also welcome on the boat. You're going to grab a lot of things. Some things might be a little complicated, but you're still, if you really if you really try hard, then you can follow us up.
You
Okay?
have as much time, isn't it?
Yeah, and one of the greatest things about... Say what?
The course will be available.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about it, is that you can take it at your own pace. You can stay on the first lesson for 3 months if you want to, until you really get a hold of it. And then you go forward. So you can, that's one of the beauties of it. It's not like private lessons where you must have acquired the knowledge and practice before the lesson next week. You can do it at your own pace, okay? So if you have another business project that you're working on, or your son is sick and you can't be to the next lesson, don't worry. The lesson stays there for as long as you need. If you want to see it next year, you can go next year. It's going to be there, okay? So...
They're going to now show the testimonial. Justin.
All right, okay. So I'm going to let you see the testimonies of one of my students. This is Justin King, quite a great guitarist who reached out for me in the middle of the pandemics. And he's been working with me for about almost 4 months now. It's been quite a great pleasure. He's an outstanding artist. So I'm going to let you...
Hey everybody, this is Justin King. I wanted to tell you a little story about Felipe Coelho, who I have been taking lessons from now for a few months. I am a dad-gad player, but I decided recently to start learning really how to play in standard tuning, and also I'm self-taught, and I never learned how to read music or really learned anything about guitar theory, so I decided I kind of wanted to go back to the drawing board and learn some of those things and kind of expand my knowledge of the instrument and of music in general. And I would say that Felipe is somebody who it's hard to find a teacher as comprehensive and sort of sensitive as he is. He really understands how to work with people, not only how to help people learn the guitar or learn music theory, but actually how to help people learn anything. And that, I think, is the mark of a great teacher. And so for somebody like me who has an established history as a guitar player, to work with somebody who really has that knowledge, both as a musician but also as a teacher, it's been really incredible. So I just highly recommend Felipe for anybody who's looking to expand their musical knowledge and their knowledge of the guitar. And yeah, thanks for listening, and I hope you guys enjoy learning from him. Cheers.
All right, guys, so I'd like to continue today's lesson with this. We're going to look at a different rhythm now. A very different part of Brazil is the northern part, where you have Bahia, Salvador, Recife, and from there, there's the rhythm of Baião, also known as shot or forró. I do have a video that I explore one of these songs. It's called Feira de Mangaio on YouTube, that I do the Baião. The Baião essence is basically this. You have 2 beats only. It's a 2-beat cycle where the bass gets the first and fourth 16th note of the first beat. What does that mean? You have to be able to speak that language. Always think a beat in 4 16th notes. Taka, 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 ta. What does it mean to get the first and fourth 16th note on the bass? That means tum, 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 tum. Tum, tum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're gonna get that on the bass. Let me do an E minor here, open E minor. So I'm gonna do this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Second beat is empty for now. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And now on the second beat, I'm going to grab the strings on the upbeat. That means this. I'm slightly muffling, using the hand of the palm, the skin of the palm here, to muffle and get more of a crisp attack and more of a drum-like sound. I want you to be able to do this with me. Can you do it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The upbeat means third 16th note. So if I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And And now I'm going to introduce to you, this is kind of an early introduction here, but for those of you who already have a little grasp on guitar or classical guitar or any style, I'm going to advance a little faster, okay? You guys can let me know if I'm going too fast, but I'm going to introduce to you the double stroke technique. This is one of the greatest secrets of Brazilian guitar that is later explored a lot into a very virtuoso techniques. So basically, to start with, this technique is what enables you to do this. It's a subdivision of every 16th note where you don't have to grab all of them. I'm not doing that because that's kind of hard. I can separate them into doing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's the exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 is fingers A and M. 2 is I, and so on. So try this with me. G major 6, here we go, double stroke technique to be applied to the baião. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And now I'm going to keep this going, and I'm going to play the bass on top on beat 1. And now I'm going to do an accent, palming, like on the upbeat of the second beat. So that means this. Tum, tum, ta, tum, tum, ta. Here we go. There it is. And you know what's the most interesting is that even though this is from a totally different region of Brazil, the internal subdivision is still the same. The accent, tak, tika, tak, tika, tak, tika, is still there. It's like a crossover between samba and baião. It's an essence of Brazilian music. That's why I first focused on this in the beginning of the lesson. I'm sorry for explaining this a little too fast, but it's because we're kind of coming close to the end here. Like I said, this is all explained in the Secrets of Brazilian Guitar Complete course very slowly with a bunch of exercises. As each rhythm is introduced, you get exercises at a progressing manner. So it starts easy and then adds one thing. The way that I teach this in the course is first like that. And then the first thing you can add, for example, is a double bass here. You can do a pickup bass to the 1. So that means the 4/16 of the second beat. 1, 2. And now you can apply the double stroke technique only here. Instead of going on the upbeat, you do a pickup note right there. So you got this. And then I take you up by steps. So just for now, what we have time to do today is simply that. Try this. This is probably the third variation from the course. Do a double stroke, back to the thumb, and then this could be a song. Tô com saudade de tu, meu desejo. Tô com saudade do beijo do mel, do teu olhar carinhoso, do teu trabalho gostoso, caminhar até o céu. É tão difícil ficar sem você. O teu amor é gostoso demais. Teu beijo me dá prazer. Quando estou com você, estou nos braços da paz. O pensamento viaja e vai buscar meu bem. Não posso ser feliz assim. Tem dó de mim. O que é que eu posso fazer? Tô com saudade de tu, meu desejo. Tô com saudade do beijo do mel, do teu olhar carinhoso, do teu abraço gostoso. Tô com saudade do mel. having a little fun. And one thing interesting about this course is that it's been recorded like this. The songs, the 10 songs or 12 actually that you learn from this repertoire, which are picked out by finger, some of the most important hits and most traditional songs, they are taught in two ways. One way is simply the chords so that you can accompany yourself singing or another instrument or another singer. And the other way is fingerstyle solo guitar so that you can impress your friends and that chick you've been, or guy, you've been wanting to invite out and to impress. You can impress your friends on YouTube or whoever. So, no, agora não pode. So I am working on, on this course, you're going to get the songs taught to you how to simply do accompaniment or fingerstyle. Okay? There's many of them. Here's another one. Tem alguma questão? Here's one of my favorite ones, Samba from João Bosco. Incompatibilidade de Gênios, do João Bosco. And this song, it's just a short chord sequence, harmonic sequence that you can just set it on fire. You can do a lot of stuff. You can do just the melody. You can do just the chord progression, accompaniment with grooves. You can do improvisation on the high register of the guitar. You can do bass lines. You can do an arrangement. You can just do the world with this kind of stuff. That it's the kind of song that is just made for you to have fun, because it's a short piece with a simple melody. And notice that this melody is really the essence of Brazilian melody, because it syncopates all the time. If I take it slowly, listen to the melody here. That ending. Everything is syncopated. That's why I was doing this exercise with you in the beginning of the lesson, which is crucial. There's no point in picking up the guitar to learn Brazilian music if you can't syncopate, if you can't feel syncopation in your brain, which again is this. The drawing, the musical writing of this is in the beginning of the lesson. This lesson is going to stay available for a few days on YouTube. Okay, you can check it again. So refer to the beginning to see the written part. But basically, syncopation is this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's what happens in the melody. Right there. And some bass lines. those bass lines that you can throw in there, which are typical of Brazilian music, such as on A minor. That's a nice way to do a bass line. Yeah, that's one of the songs that we have in the course. And one more note here. Last time that I did a live on this song, somebody asked, what scale do I use over this chord, which has the sonority right here. Oh, sorry. What is that? What is that scale? So this is called the whole tone scale, which is applied to dominant chords with a sharp 5 and a sharp 4. And that's exactly what's happening over this guy here. So you got this kind of sonority. So you got that. So you got this kind of sonority here, which he implied over this chord. And I think I did a phrase there. I did something like this. Resolve down to F. That's a bass line. This is something that we look in detail in the course, how to build these bass lines in the Brazilian language. And basically, I'm going to just try to make it short here. Basically, you have to know your root, your target notes, which are tonic, third, and fifth. And then you're going to connect those notes by putting them, these target notes on the strong beats, which are, if you divide a tempo in two, if you divide a beat in two, you have the down and the upbeat. That means first and third 16th note. Especially the first one is the strongest one. The second one is strong, but not as strong. So if you can put the target notes on tonic and third 16th note, that means beat and downbeat, taka, 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 then you're always going to be sounding, bringing the sonority of the chord, bringing the sonority of the harmony through the bass line. That's basically the same rule that dictates counterpoint. That comes straight from Bach from the 18th century. So if you got this, if I say at least the first note of every beat, ta 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 ta, ba ba. That's what my teacher used to tell me to do. Is I have to speak the interval that I'm playing every time I set my foot. Ta 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 ta. Every first 16th note. So that is 1 1 3 1 3 5 1 3 1 5 3. Oh, desculpa. So that's how you do these bass lines pretty much. So here, and I'm thinking for F, thinking 1, and then it's 1 3 2 4 3 1 2 4 3. Anyways, it's hard to explain. This is a whole science and a culture behind this. The explanation is simplified into that. You're just going to target your chord tones and use the other notes as passing tones, so they are played on the weak beats. But we do have a lot of examples over this course. There's a whole section, about 2 hours, dedicated to only doing bass lines for accompaniment. Are there any questions?
No. Karen asked if it was medium dominant or whole tone scale. I think it was whole tone.
Good question. It's a great question. You can actually treat that chord as both Lydian dominant and whole tone scale. Right now I was using whole tone scale, but I think one of the phrases that I did when I was playing the tune, I think I might have done it in Lydian dominant. That's a great question that you have. The Lydian dominant is, for those who don't know, is the fourth mode that is from the melodic minor scale. So it's a very important tool for you to be able to just navigate or operate or manipulate music, to know your options. This is basically like a set of colors, a set of color combinations that the harmonized scales give you. Harmonized scale, this is explained in detail in the Brazilian music course, Brazilian guitar. Harmonized scale is nothing but getting one scale, 7 notes, and building 7 chords out of each note as being a separate root, as being its own root. And the way you build chords is by stacking thirds. You get a third, another third, another third. Consequently, you have tonic, third, fifth, and seventh. And then by analyzing the nature of those thirds, there's major and minor third, there's perfect fifth, augmented or diminished fifth. There's minor 7, major 7, diminished 7. By analyzing the variety of intervals, then you analyze the chords. You're going to have dominant chord, minor chord. There's 5 types of chords, and each one of these 5 types of chords is clearly explained with written information on the screen in the Secrets of Brazilian Guitar course. So we are kind of getting to the end here. I hope that I've been able to give you as much information as I could squeeze into this short time. I'm sorry that I'm a bit wordy, but I'm just trying to make best use of time. So if there's anything that I can help you guys out, I just think that you should really take advantage of this opportunity, because like I said, the 10 first people that enter that buy the course, that enter this group of students that we're opening today, are going to get 1 hour lesson privately from me once the course is over. Again, this course is 12 hours of recorded lessons, step by step, going through all the Brazilian rhythms, all the little magic tricks that you do in order to incite the swing and make the guitar sound like a drum. Everything is there. And the long repertoire of 12 songs, 12 Brazilian known pieces that I've selected for you in different difficulties of arrangement. Yeah, you get all this for less than $100. You know, it's like pretty much less than what a person pays for 2 lessons with me. I got some students that actually pay $75 for a private lesson from me. So I think this is such a ridiculously better deal. You really shouldn't miss it. So yeah, for $99, you get 24 hours of instruction, 12 recorded and 12 from group lives, where you get to ask me your questions and I get to look at your playing. You can send videos to the Facebook group. As a matter of fact, the group of students is assessed pretty much any time throughout the week. I look at the Facebook group of those students that enter the course with me. They can ask me questions throughout the week, such as some of our students have done that in the previous course. You can ask me questions throughout the week and I'll address them, I'll give you examples, and we are constantly talking. So it's not just 1 hour live. You're basically becoming like a friend of mine, you know what I mean? We're chatting and I'm answering questions, suggesting recordings, suggesting artists, making videos specifically for the group. So it's a whole lot of fun. It's really a journey that I guarantee you're going to get out of it, understanding the feeling of Brazilian music and being able to play pieces in Brazilian fashion. Será que eu toco Dua Lipa pra...
Eu vou botar o desvairado.
Tá. So we're going to hear a song right now that I recorded recently here in my house, here in my kitchen. This is a different kind of a Brazilian tune though, because it's a waltz. So what you're going to have mostly from this not only is the virtuosic guitar approach that Brazilian music offers with the use of the 7th string, but also the richness of harmony. The harmony is very rich, and you can see the song goes through 3 different sections, A, B, and C, in different keys, D minor, F major, and D major.
And so it's part of the course.
Oh, and this song is taught in the course, okay? I teach this song. I already recorded it, as a matter of fact. It's explained with a harmonic analysis, explained with what techniques are used on the right hand, and what are the drawings here, the patterns that I'm using on the left hand, so you get it, everything broken down, dissected, and analyzed. So take a look at it. This is Desvairada from Japan. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed that. That was Desvairada. And I've been doing this for a few months now. I was trying to always be recording something new, especially from the Brazilian culture. If there's any questions about that song, you can ask me right now, and I'm gonna just play something else. Okay, what we've done today, I've explained to you the baião, two little variations of the baião. Emerson, my business partner here, has just made available here on the chat the link to the PDF of this lesson. Basically, you get a lot of harmony and a lot of, it's pretty much kind of a sum up of the course, just very tight, very concise, with some rhythmic variations and all. So I'm gonna play another song here. Okay. How about let's do a little Casa Forte from Edu Lobo, another baião. This is a beautiful baião. Here we go.
That's 4 places available for the free class.
Oh, only 4?
Only 4.
All right, so we got four places available for the free personal guitar lesson that you get to have with me. Like I said, the 10 first people that buy the course get to have a free lesson straight from me of at least 1 hour, where I'm going to check your playing, check everything that you are bringing, your ideas, your suggestions, your difficulties, whatever questions you may have. I'm going to give you private one-on-one attention.
Just to give a welcome to Gratian, Chris, Alessandro, Richard Baruch, Larry Margican, sorry for that, and Doug Hugo.
All right, if you heard your name there, you have earned a free lesson with me once the course is over. First, you're going to receive the 12 hours of recorded lessons. I guess it's week by week that you will have access to them one by one. You go unlocking them. And then after that, not after that, but during that time, you're going to meet with me. This group of students is going to meet me for 1 hour per week, where I'm going to assess everything that you're doing, your questions, whatever. And then at the end of it all, we get one private lesson from me. And the private lesson doesn't have to be straight about just Brazilian guitar. We can go talk about classical music, flamenco guitar, world music, world guitar, which are things that are my specialty as well. Of course, I'm Brazilian, so my essence is that of Brazilian music, but I do have those specialties of having been educated deeply into the tradition of flamenco as well as jazz and gypsy jazz. So as a matter of fact, I'm actually putting together now a course for Brazilian jazz, where I'm going to mix the jazz theory with the Brazilian rhythms. And that's going to be something that I can already start maybe using in this course right now. If you have questions related to jazz improvisation, we can already start addressing that. And that is something that I do cover in this course, is how to build lines in the Brazilian fashion. Basically, it's Brazilian music is like a cousin of jazz music. The greatest underlying difference is rhythm. But in the accent, one of the things that I would say is probably that Brazilian musical statements usually end on the tonic, whereas jazz is more open-ended. It can be more of a modal approach like Miles Davis. But in Brazilian music, like in choro, most of the lines will end on the one. So you have more things like arpeggios, for example. You always have this type of approach where always goes back to the one. So there's many lines that we could do. I could maybe try an improvisation here on this harmony. That's the underlying harmony for many Brazilian tunes. There's 1, A major Ionian, this is the first mode. And the fourth mode is a D, Lydian dominant here, kind of a bluesy sound. There's different songs that have this harmony. One of them is Brasileirinho, where you have that. So Brazilian kind of a little fun there. I hadn't really prepared this. I hadn't really prepared this, but just having a good time. The idea for this is just actually to start improvising over this progression. I can do that now. Here we go. It's tonic, 4th degree dominant, back to tonic, in 5. 5 means E7. Again, tonic, D7. Again, tonic, 5. So guys, are there any questions, guys? Could I make this any simpler for you? The fact that this is such a great opportunity, and I can't wait for you to join us because this is such a great opportunity. Like I'm saying, we're going to be closing in a few minutes, but you can still watch this live later on, and you can still come into the course, jump into this group of students that are going to come into this great journey, fun journey.
The live class places are over. I have 10 students.
Oh, we have 10?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, so we just have our 10 first buyers, which means that these guys are the ones that are going to get the free lesson. Well, we shouldn't have said that. But you still get 12 hours of free lives with me, straight with me, in the group of students that are going to happen once per week throughout 3 months, which is pretty much the time that this course has been designed to cover. But on the part of the course that's the 12 songs, the repertoire pieces that you're going to learn, both accompaniment and melodic execution, that should take more than 3 months. This is for you to be able to really master those. It's like a year project, or maybe even more. It's a life project. You know, you can't think of this as something that you're just gonna pick up in one day. You know, you have to have perseverance and energy, and just love. If you love it, you get it, because it is the love for the music that makes you want to practice. You know, I can only show you the way, as some say, as Morpheus has said. You are the one who is going to walk through the door. But I'm going to try to give you a lot of things to keep you motivated. Fun things, fun approaches to look at the guitar, never as something that you have to try hard or whatever. It's just something that's supposed to come with fun. Day by day, a little bit of fun. So really make sure to take advantage of this opportunity. Do we have a question?
Karin Ben Tarjan.
Karin?
A small recap on the different sides of samba you mentioned before, please.
So, read that again.
A small recap.
A small recap on the different types. Well, I didn't really show you many types of samba. I showed the easy bossa-nova, which was visually displayed here in the beginning of the lesson, which is this. Preview. Okay, good. I'm going to show you the preview of all the kinds of samba that are in the course. What I taught today was the basic bossa-nova first. Okay, and I taught the basic syncopation for just the ground of samba, which is this. Just that, okay? And then I show you the clave. In this lesson, I will show you the first clave, which was this. If you rewind the video, you're going to see this. That's the samba I taught today. And you can use the double stroke technique right in between here, like this. there. That taka is this taka. So that's the first. That is the first clave of samba. In the course, I will show you 4 claves, which are basically this same one, but it's twisted around as such. Here's the main idea. But you can switch it. You can go. That's the opposite. I'm putting the 2 beat is getting the downbeat, whereas before it was the third. So you can put that downbeat on every one, and you're going to switch you're going to displace and relocate the clave. Now another example. So you can recreate this clave and recreate many different ways. And in the course, I showed that to you. Now here's a few interesting variations of the samba, which are shown in the course by detail. One of them is what I call the Latin approach of samba. It's like this. For example, you could play Jobim's one-note samba. Eis aqui este sambinha, feito de uma nota só. Outras notas vão entrar, mas a base é uma só. Esta outra consequência do que acabo de dizer. Como eu sou a consequência inevitável de você. Here's the Latin samba. You anticipate the bass. Eis aqui este sambinha, feito numa nota só. Outras notas vão entrar, mas a base é uma só. Esta nota é consequência do que acabo de dizer. São a consequência inevitável. So basically, this is another kind of samba that's called the Latin samba, because it has this kind of like a salsa. It's a mix of salsa and samba. And you have the sambon. The sambon, to me, is the strongest one. Comes straight from the Escola de Samba, which the parade that happens was born in Rio, a huge parade, but really happens all over the country, where you have the huge drum line. You have the surdos, you have agogô, you have the cuica, you have the pandeiro, you have the tambourine. So basically, from that one, the bass drum works as such. It's 2 and then on the 4. And then on the 4th, 16th of the 4 beat, you got a high accent. This is all written in the course, and I believe it's also in the PDF that I've disposed here for you in the chat. But it's explained in detail with examples in the course, as well as addressed in the music that you learn in the course. So here's an example of the sambon. The characteristic is this bass on 2N. 1, 2N, 2, 2N, 4 and 1, 2N, 3, 4, 2 and 3, 4. That's the big characteristic. And then you have the syncopate inside there. There. That's syncopation. And the second or third main characteristic is this pull on the 4th, 16th note, the accent, the end of the measure. You gotta put that on there. That's sambon. It's another variation of samba. And there's the choro as well, which you get a G chord and you go. Sambon. Choro. it's lamentos. Morena, tem pena, mas ouve o meu lamento. So, a phrase, baixaria. Any questions? I think we're getting to the end here. Vai ter outra live que eu anuncio para eles.
You might do another live? Yes.
Just stay tuned in my Instagram or in the YouTube channel or both, because I believe you're going to be doing another live, another day that I'm going to be able to go a little more into these lessons here and just give you guys, for those who haven't been able to be made aware of the opportunity of this course. I would love to get you to join this group of students. It's been really a great experience, guys. You can check on the Felipe Coelho guitar page some of the testimonials of the people that joined in the class in early August. They seem to be loving it. They're every Monday there with me. A lot of them, not all of them, because some of them were from Russia or Afghanistan or whatever, some Oriental countries there that have the different time zone, the opposite time zone, so it's hard for them to be with me during the day. But most of the students are usually there, and it's really been fun. I can't really express the emotion to see that my life or my culture or what I've learned, what I've cultivated over the years is now being able to help people from all kinds of countries. There's about 20 different countries that joined in the first class, and it's been such a fun project. And this is the reason why I'm here again, is because I decided to repeat it because it was a major success. I won't lie to you. So I really want to extend that opportunity to more people. And like I said, this ain't about the money, guys, because I teach private lessons for $50. A couple of guys even pay me $75 a lesson. And I could just teach lessons, you know what I mean, and not do these courses. Because for you, it's a much better deal. Because for the price of, for less than what you pay for 2 lessons with me, you will get 24 hours of instruction. That you cannot beat that deal, you know what I mean? So it's really about being an opportunity to you. It's not about anything else. It's really being able to create a way where the Brazilian guitar can be exposed to people, can be within reach, you know what I mean? Can be made possible for people to learn it from an expert. I don't mean to be arrogant or anything, but I've dedicated my whole life to this, not only to the Brazilian guitar. The Brazilian guitar is a natural thing to me, but I mean for the guitar in general. So I've been able to find all these shortcuts in teaching methods because I've taught for 24 years now. I've been a teacher. I used to teach as also at Georgia State University, where I got my master's degree. I used to be a teaching assistant there of the guitar incoming students in the guitar combos and jazz combos, a guitar orchestra, all these things. I used to be in head of those projects. So I've had enough experience as a teacher to cut to the chase and be able to just make a long story short and go straight to the bone and do what works and avoid what doesn't. So this is really an opportunity that I want you guys not to miss, okay? Make sure to jump in the course with us and let me get to know you personally. I was working on, should I do the Trump impression?
No.
No. Alright. É isso, cara. Não sei mais o que dizer aqui.
Yeah, I think that's all.
Alright, guys. The chart, o carrinho vai continuar aberto, né?
Yes.
É cart em inglês, né? Ou é chart? Cart? Eu não sei. Well, the page, the checkout cart is going to stay open for you guys, those of you who for how many days, Emerson? It stays open for sale?
For a week.
For 1 week. For 1 week.
2 days, $99.
Oh, okay. Well, that's important information. For 2 days, it's going to be $99 because the course is actually much longer than we decided at first. So we're going to catch up a little bit closer to what it should have been charged. So for now, just to get you guys moving, we decided to bring it down to $99. And for 2 days, it's going to stay that price, and then it's going to stay open for the whole week for sale in case you're not too sure about it. Be welcome to write me a message on YouTube or Instagram. I do have a lot of free content, a lot of free little things that I've thrown out that you can check out on my Instagram as well as YouTube. But write me a question about the course, anything that if you are insecure.
Someone asked about the 7th string. Sorry, luthier. He's a luthier.
Okay.
And he just constructed a 7th string.
Oh wow,
Just built.
Nice. And what's the question?
For you to say something about it.
All right, the 7th string guitar.
By the way, that's something I suggested. Maybe we introduce a model.
Okay, yeah.
In
All
the
right.
course about 7th strings.
Okay, we had this idea the other day because there have been a lot of questions about the 7th string guitar. This is not so popular to many people as I thought it was. At least in Brazil, the 7th string guitar is all over the place. And basically, we're thinking about adding to the course another hour specifically on the 7th string. Basically, the 7th string does the bass line because in the choro situation, choro is the Brazilian instrumental kind of music, there's no bass. The guitar does that role, and the melody is given to different instruments such as the flute or the mandolin or the accordion or even the voice. So the bass, the Brazilian guitar, really in essence is not a guitar for fingerstyle soloing. That's something that some artists have brought. I myself have applied that a lot because I come from also a jazz background, so I know a lot about chord melody. Not that the Brazilian guitarists don't, but the essence of Brazilian guitar is really about the 7th string. The 7th string also makes it really good for the instrument to become a solo instrument, because if you want to do a melody up on here, say, and you can be doing a G chord. So you can do the bass right here. You can do a bunch of chords. So all holding this bass, while you would only be able to do it here on the 6th string. And especially when you have the B open, man, that's such a convenient note to have open, because the B is the 3rd of G, is the 5th of E minor, and it's its own thing. So you learn a lot of chords there. You use this a lot. Even Yamandu Costa, one of the greatest Brazilian guitar masters, he said himself that one would not understand how much greatness just one string adds to the instrument. It makes it become this whole huge spaceship that will take you on long, trips, everywhere. Trips of fun and musicality, and just you dive in a lot of harmony possibilities. Just by adding this one string, you turn the instrument into an orchestra. I really feel like that. I got a 7th string and I was 23 years old, and I've never been able to be without one. Like every time I grab a 6th string, I feel like a human being without an arm. It's really that much. It's like so much fun to have on the 7th string. But I'll say this, for those of you who are wondering if you should come into the course or not, I teach a lot of the lessons of the course without the 7th string, in respect of those who don't have it. And I tend to put it back, where I have 2 guitars here, one with and one without. And I put it back when somebody asks me a question. I think about 2 of my students from the first group class has a 7th string, and they asked me a question about that. So I think the 7th string was maybe born in Russia. I think that's where the Brazilian people took it from. Early in the century, we had some Russian immigrants, and they bought the 7th string with us. And Gino Sete Cordas, the guy who made the 7th string guitar big in Brazil, he looked at that instrument and he had the idea. He was like, well, if the choro has no bass, I'm going to make the bass for it. And he started studying all these inversions and creating counterpoint melodies just like Bach would do. It comes straight from Bach, music theory, just targeting chord tones, having a leading tone chromatic towards chord tones. This is something that I explain in detail in the course. It's basically music theory from 18th century counterpoint applied to music, to the Brazilian guitar. The Brazilian guitar is a lot based on classical music and based on counterpoint. The only difference from classical music is that you don't have to worry so much about being extra pure clean. You don't have to stress too much about that. It's more fun than stress. And then you basically focus more on the dancing aspect, on the grooving aspect. That you wanna do that rhythmic short cycle of just 2 beats, something like from Africa, that takes you into a trance. That's what Brazilian music is all about: is grooving and going into a trance. So guys, it's been fun. I really hope you jump in. I really want to get to know you, and I want to be able to stretch out to you this culture, which is such a beautiful culture, such a culture worth knowing, that it's appreciated all over the world. If you know Brazilian music, you can play it in Europe, you can play in Asia, you can play in America, you can play anywhere. People just appreciate it. The time I spent in New York, 4 months there, I was playing gigs everywhere, just within a month from being there, because people were like, oh, there's this new Brazilian guitar player in town. And, you know, I could really deliver the Brazilian style, so I really felt appreciated. And that's what's in store for you. If you're a musician, get to know this stuff, you know, dive into the fun planet that is Brazilian guitar, because you're only going to, even if you don't intend to play pure Brazilian music, you can add that to whatever you do. You can add that spice, that fun, that dancing aspect to it. And it's also a creative way, you know, the percussive thing. It's all about being yourself and creating and bringing your own style to it. Brazilian music opens that possibility to you, for you to interpret. You know, it's like the way that I approach it is looking at it from a perspective of having studied music theory and known the tools to dissect music, and then you use that same perspective to bring in the same way that I look at music, at rhythms, mathematically, with subdivisions, with total awareness. I use that awareness to bring in the tools and to make it as rich as possible. So guys,
Luthier asked if you can write the name for him.
The name of the guitar?
I don't know.
Write
the name?
Write for him. Essa aqui é do... Porra. Linneu Bravo. Linneu Bravo is the name of my guitar builder, and the other guitar builder who actually is my sponsor is Wellington, com dois L's, Wellington Polegário. These are two of the main guitar builders from Brazil. Build great instruments. Emerson is going to get the Polegário guitar here for you to see. The main difference is that this one here has an elevated neck and the strings are tighter. And the other one is a classical model that I use for Brazilian music, so it's purer and fatter.
Where is it?
It's in the case below the table on the... Aí. He's bringing the other guitar. The other Polegário is mainly a classical model, but it has a fatness that I really enjoy. This one here is a little bit more cutting because the strings are tighter. This way of building the guitar with the elevated neck not only facilitates you to reach here, but also gives the neck, the guitar, a different pull, a different attack. This is the Polegário, the one that I keep on just 6 strings. I have removed the 7 strings, although it's set for 7 strings. I removed the 7th string so that I can teach the people from the Brazilian course that have the 6th string. This is a beautiful Brazilian rosewood in the back here. Both of them are Brazilian rosewood in the back. So this is a dry polish, and this is a more glassy, glassy polish.
Yes,
so that's it.
The Brazilian guy who introduced the 7th string.
Gino Sete Cordas. He's already passed away, but he's in most of the original choro. The most important recordings is him. Gino Sete Cordas. Gino Pundé, yeah. He's a very important guy, and every time you hear a choro recording, you're going to hear that low end. Boom, 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 boom. Always doing a counterpoint, a rhythmic bass line, and that's where it all comes from. So, all right, guys, it's been really a pleasure. I really hope you guys join in with me, because this is really, truly an opportunity. I'm not here just trying to sell something, but I'm really here to tell you there is an opportunity. If you happen to like guitar, there's a really, really rich world out there right here for you available, and the money is the least thing about it. I mean, this is the price of nothing. For 24 hours of instruction, you guys should jump on this, because it's really an opportunity. $100 is how much a guitar lesson costs in New York. So now you're having, for less than $100, 24 hours of guitar instruction from a guy who was very much appreciated in New York. For the 4 months that I spent there, I was playing everywhere. I was playing with all kinds of artists. So think about it. $100 for 1 hour, or $100 for 24 hours. This is really a deal that you guys should not lose, okay? Make sure to jump on it, because next time I'm going to offer this, maybe in the end of the year. I don't know. So I really want to see you there, okay? Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I hope I've been able to help you. I would answer more questions if there were more questions about theory, but I really hope that I've been able to help you, all right? See you guys. Is called Samba de Maracangalha. It is in the chorus. Então, batem pau, tá bom.
Or samba triste.
When I said batem pau, I started doing this. Because it's his signature lick, right? He always does. Or he always does that. So anyways, here's a take on Canto de Ossanha. Aê, minha galera. Muito bem, muito bem. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. I hope I can see you there starting this week. Vai começar essa semana já, né? Start this week.
Available.
Yeah, it's already available. As soon as you purchase the course, you enter there and you start seeing the lessons, and you can just go one by one at your own time, and you can meet me weekly for a personal live with the group of students. So nothing beats that, man. I think you really, if you ever had the attraction or the interest to make your guitar more colorful and getting to know about this Brazilian, this Latin flavor, you really should be in here. All right, don't miss this. Don't do that to yourself, please. Don't do it. All right. All right, guys. It's been fun. Thank you so much. Be able to make sure to check out the Instagram and the YouTube for free content every week. All right. Till next time.
Quanto de senha tá no curso?
Eu acho que não. Eu acho que sim.
11?